Welcome to Off the Top Sports. My name is Adrian Big A Gonzalez, and right across from me we have Josh House, and to my right we have the Big Cheeto Brian Balcito. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
Another week, ready to be back. I'm pumped up for this week's episode. A lot of big stuff to talk about.
Yes, sir. What's up, fellas? Good to be back.
We're in the heart of Santa Ana, downtown. We have some NBA to talk about, some hockey, some baseball, some MMA, and some little bit of NFL, and maybe some college baseball. Not basketball. Wrong time of year. But the finals are set in NBA. You guys, it's exactly
what we expected.
It's totally what we expected.
Down with the Rockets, which is what we wanted, right? Physical series for Golden State, though. They took some punishment in this series. Steph Curry getting flipped. What's his name? Thompson got kneed in the head tonight, which I thought Ariza easily could have pulled that knee back a little bit, and he went full-fledged into his ear, and it looked like he almost got KO'd for a second. He went limp for a half second.
Definitely some Street Fighter action going on right there.
And you know who else tends to be in the middle of some action over on the Cleveland end? You have Della Vadova. Always seems to be around it.
I like it.
I love the kid.
Scrappers, you
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
You can have, not just scoring and rebounds sometimes help your team win. And that guy finds little things, getting guys ejected, getting them into fights with you, get rid of their good players by luring them in, pissing them off.
Would you really want to fight a giant, tall ass Australian?
Oh, I mean, if I was well, of course I would. But
He's like a little human bruise guy.
We don't
diving all
call him
over the
House just
floor.
because his last name's Niederhaus.
He's always diving on the floor. He's like that annoying gnat.
completely, he's almost like got Rodman-like qualities.
Yeah.
When he was
absolutely.
at St. Mary's, he was like single-handedly the reason they were physical and stayed in games. So I love the kid. I'm pretty proud of him.
It's going to be an interesting finals matchup because you got a contrast in styles because the Warriors are going to want to run up and down the floor.
Cleveland's now all about defense. LeBron's going to bully right through everyone that Golden State throws at him. They don't have anyone that's going to be able to try to slow that guy down, in my opinion. He's just going to just run to the rim and say, and one.
Right, and it's going to be interesting to see if anybody on the Warriors can keep Tristan Thompson off the glass because that guy's been destroying the offensive glass.
He has.
What about LeBron's history with teams that play team ball?
It's a new LeBron every year. He's getting better, He's doing things right now I didn't think he could do. Honestly, I talk a lot of smack on LeBron, but right now the things that he's done, no Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving on the bench, hurt, banged up, not playing, and still walking. I mean, granted, it's Atlanta. Atlanta's this nice little team, but nothing special, no superstar.
Right.
So it's not that impressive, I heard somebody call the East the JV today, so I like that. It's kind of true, other than Cleveland.
And speaking of the banged up Kyrie Irving, I mean, now he's got a week off, so he could be a little bit more fresh once the finals get rolling. Same thing with LeBron. LeBron's got a bunch of little dinged up parts to him right
Everybody's
now. Ankle,
hurt.
Yeah,
Everybody's hurt
banged
this
up.
time of the year.
Right.
But, I mean, today, even with Thompson getting his bleeding out of his ear, folks, it was brutal. He went limp for a second. He got knocked.
That was one of those it was lucky because if it was a quarter of an inch in a different direction, we might be talking a totally different
It
story.
might have been the best punch overall the whole weekend in the MMA fights and all, man. He went, God, down.
Dana White's looking to
Signed
put that
Trevor
on the highlight reel.
Ariza. His flying knee there is pretty sweet.
Now, there's a lot of talk about LeBron right now. It's his 5th finals. It's a record. He's the first person to do it not on the same team. Does that put him up there with the greats?
I mean, in my mind, a lot of people can say what they want, but Jordan would have won 8 titles in a row if he didn't get bored and go play baseball. People forget that weren't there and living it. He could do whatever he wanted on the basketball court. 6 finals appearances, 6 MVPs. I mean, let's if LeBron loses this final, he will be 2-4 or 2-3?
Something like
He'd
that,
be
yeah.
2-3.
Yeah. So
No,
I mean,
2-4. You're right.
yeah,
He'd be
because
2-4.
he lost to Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
He's
not
he's
exactly
aiming for 500.
Jordan-like number. I don't care what you say. That's
Here's my thing about LeBron, and I'm like you. I badmouth the guy. It's fun to do it. He left to Miami, and he didn't want not 2, not 3, not 4. And today last night in a press conference, he said, "I have some unfinished business with Cleveland." You had unfinished business before you left to Miami.
But
And
no,
you should-
at the time, no one wanted to go play in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Now
right.
it's cool to go play in Cleveland for some reason because LeBron's proven he can win. He's a
It's hipster
champion now, so it's like people want to go play there. And I'm hoping this. As much as I talk shit on LeBron, I kind of feel bad for the city of Cleveland. And I hope they get a goddamn title.
Yeah, they've waited a
Seriously.
long, long time. One of the things when people compare the two, him and Jordan, I always look back on that series in 97 or 96 when he absolutely annihilated the Phoenix Suns. He put up 37, 38 points a game in that series, and that was virtuoso Michael Jordan. That is at the top of his game. So we haven't seen LeBron really do that in a final series. Sure, he's won a couple, but he hasn't dominated to that effect that Jordan did.
I know you guys could hear that sound, but from what we could see, you could see the hearts coming out of Brian's eyes on that one.
That's because I was talking about Jordan, right?
Yeah. The table lift up on his
All right,
end.
so who do you got right now? What's your call for the finals? Who's the champion this year, Adrian?
I say it's a close one, but I'm thinking Golden State pulls it out at the end of like Game 7.
As much as I don't want to say it, I'm going to say LeBron gets the ring for Cleveland.
I'm going Warriors in 7 with Curry as the MVP. I know that's not a big
Yeah.
limb to go out on, but I just have a feeling it's their year. 40 years they've waited to get back to the finals.
I think Golden State's just healthier, and if Cleveland wins,
Are they going to be healthier after LeBron bullies them for 5 games?
I think if Cleveland wins, surprise MVP, Dellavedova.
Before we forget, 2 first-year head coaches in NBA Finals this year. Never happens in the first year of the NBA. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Another footnote is James Harden set a record tonight. 13 turnovers in a playoff game. A new
Wrong
record.
way in the record.
A new
books.
record. And as good as he was last game with his 45 points, he was just
Awful.
tonight.
Yeah, he was
It
awful.
was bad. It was painful to watch.
His ball handling was terrible. He kept dribbling the ball off of his foot.
Multiple times.
Yeah, tried to get down the lane, and the Warriors were doing a nice job of stripping him as he was getting down
Almost
the
like
lane.
he was distracted.
Yeah, it really did look that way.
Or he was just trying too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another footnote that we could have had an interesting situation. Dwight Howard picked up his 7th technical foul of the playoffs, which would have meant if there was a Game 6, he would have been suspended.
I don't think many people knew that rule right now, other than us bringing that up. I didn't hear it during the game. I don't know if I missed it, but I didn't hear that. So.
Yeah, Van Gundy covered it. They
Yeah.
they tally up each technical, and once you get to 7 Ts, they give you a 1-game suspension.
Well, he was almost close to a flagrant one. He gave an elbow, moved the arm out, and caught. Who was that? It was from. Who was it? It was.
Was it Iggy?
Yeah, Iguodala. There it is. Iguodala. He caught him in the throat area, which I know if you hit somebody, especially with an elbow towards the throat head, that's an automatic ejection.
Absolutely.
So they were being very nice to old Dwight tonight.
Well, he could have been suspended for that act he
Should've-
pulled against
should've
Bogut
been,
in the
should've
game
been.
before when he smacked Bogut in the face.
He threw a spinning back fist.
Absolutely, it was almost like the J.R. Smith one.
It was just like it, and J.R. Smith got busted for 2 games, thrown
Yeah.
out for 2 games.
Right.
So NBA likes certain players and don't like others.
And there's a reason why he didn't get along with people in the Lakers locker room. So
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of the Lakers, there was some news for you guys to talk about with Kupchak saying that he feels like Kobe is making it sound like this might be his last year. What are you guys? You guys are Laker fans. What do you guys think?
I mean, get out of here already. As much as you did for us, you know what? I hope he comes back this year and just balls out and we win a title, But
Yeah.
as much as I don't think that's happening. I like the rumor of us trading that pick for DeMarcus Cousins. That was one I heard. Yeah, although I see Jahlil Okafor was lobbying to be the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta like that.
Yeah, please don't pick me, Minnesota. Please don't.
I don't
pick
deserve it. Give me to the Lakers. I don't want to live in Minnesota.
I'm not a number 1 draft pick. Why would you even think that? Yeah, I like Kobe, and I always be a fan of his. But if it would be great if young Kobe came back,
Or if he
and-
actually earned that money this year, what he's making, because
$25 million a year.
He's
That's
killing
a
our
lot
salary
of cheddar. How about here's another question for you guys. there was an interesting thing brought up about that situation, and what if he still wants to play? Will it just be a dagger if
we can reduce your salary greatly, and that'd be fine. Come on back.
I'm talking
Decrease your
about if he's
salary
in another
or-
uniform. Will that be just one of those things that's hard for you guys to look at? I
I
had to
could
deal
care
with
less.
I had to deal with the mailman. Olajuwon played for the Magic for a year. Patrick Ewing played for Seattle. It's
It would just make me
weird
think less
thing.
of him for leaving and going
Yeah.
to play for another team.
That brings up a topic we should talk about in the future. Guys who just did not look right in
Right.
other uniforms.
Right.
Joe Montana with
As a
the
Chief.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
What was that? Oral Hershiser as a Giant. Oh,
Yeah.
talk about ruining my childhood right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we'll talk about some hockey. We'll bring up some baseball in a bit.
We got some game sevens.
Got some game sevens.
Love game sevens around here.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Blackhawks Ducks if there wasn't a game 7. I thought Ducks would win 6-2, but no
Hey,
way.
Ducks get it at home. You can't ask for anything more than that. It's one game for all the marbles.
Two very good teams. It's been a great series. We've had 3 overtime games. They've basically played 8 games now, going into Game 7.
The Ducks got to contain Shaw in that game 7. That guy was he was a Tasmanian devil out there tonight.
Right.
He was just all over the place.
Right.
If Shaw's is crazy enough to headbutt a puck, I mean,
He was taking on
he's
a
not
guy
afraid of
much bigger
of a
than him
fist.
tonight, squaring up with him. He didn't care. I like that. He's a scrapper. The Ducks have played well all year. I think they've rebounded from losses very well this year, so I expect them, I hope that they come back and win.
Yeah, so that game is Saturday night, and Friday night we get Rangers Lightning in Game 7 out east.
Tampa Bay, you thought you would get a sweep.
They
Love
thought
game sevens.
You love those games where the Rangers went in last night and spoiled that party in Tampa Bay. Everybody was in that stadium thinking this is going to be a party. We're going to the finals.
They're
and-
like squeezing the champagne out of their
Right,
t-shirts
by the way,
back
did you
into
guys
the
see
bottle.
that picture of LeBron and the whole team celebrating up there? That was pretty
did.
good.
I did.
You guys got to Google that image.
Oh, it's a great one. I've seen it.
So, who else? We got 2 game sevens. Who's your picks?
I'm thinking. Jesus, I honestly was thinking Ducks, Rangers at the start of the series, and I want to stay with that pick. I honestly think it could ease the Ducks. No, the Ducks got it. It's Ducks, Rangers with the surprise and the heartbreak over Tampa Bay.
That's who I'm going for. I want it to be New York versus SoCal so bad. And then SoCal wins again. We own hockey. We've had, 3 out of the last 4 champions. Screw the East Coast. Sorry.
I think
sorry.
I'll make it unanimous. I think the Ducks are going to pull it out at home. Bunch of Orange County people going home happy.
So Ducks versus
Rangers.
Rangers. Sorry, New York. New York.
Sorry, Tampa.
Yeah, right.
Oh, poor Florida sports and everything. All right, moving on. We have baseball and sad news
For Dodger fans.
for Dodger fans. It's a good baseball move. And if you haven't heard, Juan Uribe is a Brave, old rival of the Dodgers when they used to be NL West. Braves. I hated the Braves as a kid. There was 2 teams I hated. I hated the Giants and I hated the Braves. But Uribe leaving, that is.
A dagger through my heart.
Oh, Mrs. Skinner couldn't have said it any better. I am heartbroken because I like the guy, and it's Paulo Duca all over again. Here's a guy who enjoyed his teammates. He loved the fans at Dodger Stadium. He loved Dodgers. He was at Dodger Stadium when he didn't have to be, and was literally crying that he got traded. And it actually got to start against the Dodgers the day after the trade.
You know why I like Uribe? Is because that guy never gets cheated on a swing. If he swings like his life depends on him swinging as hard
Yeah.
as possible, and I love watching that.
And then he puts the Uribe Jazz hands up.
And he's a clutch
Brian
player.
got to enjoy him too as a Giant.
Yeah, he was a good Giant. He's a great teammate, as you said. People in the Giants clubhouse loved him. He was one of the guys that when they had him, that's when Sandoval was coming up, and he kind of took Sandoval under his wing and
Mentored him a little bit.
Mentored him, yeah,
So
definitely.
Puig is the last of the three amigos.
Yeah.
Uribe's out. Rue's injured. Hanley Ramirez, who was interchangeable with the three amigos, he's out. Puig, sorry man, This is part of growing up in baseball. You can't be with your best friends on your whole team the whole time.
You guys have flipped your lineup quite a bit. I mean, Kemp being gone too. I mean, it's been a lot of change.
See, with Puig, I think hamstrings tend to be a result of partying a little too much, maybe. Be a little dehydrated.
I think the direct quote from Puig was,
A dagger through my heart.
Oh.
Maine. Maine. But yeah, he's moving on. Here's to you, Uribe. Now I must turn my back on you. And then a serious note in baseball: Cleveland is bald.
Yeah, that's a great story. You know, the Indians, Mike Aviles, their shortstop, his daughter was diagnosed with leukemia, and the whole team ended up coming out today with their heads shaved to support her. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. It's I've done the shave-a-thons. We do it for the Max Love Foundation, who everyone who listens to Off the Top Sports know we love, and I think it's a good thing.
As a coach, you got to love team unity. You know,
Absolutely,
Yep.
anything that this could make Cleveland
pull together.
Yeah, they were a favorite in that division at the beginning of the year, and they've struggled. So who knows? That could turn them around, get closeness. It's a good thing. Very cool thing.
So thanks, Cleveland. We appreciate it. Hats off to you. Go Tribe. And then Angels. Guess what they're doing tomorrow night? Take a guess, Brian. Me.
Losing?
Probably losing.
Some kind of promotion? Is that what it would be?
But you're gaining some love. You're gaining love in at Angel Stadium tomorrow night. They are having a singles night at Angel Stadium, and it's really funny. It sounds odd, but there's a ticket package that includes a game to the ticket to the game. You can watch them play against the Tigers. So if you're a Detroit transplant and you want to go find love, you can watch your Tigers play against the Angels. Then you get admission to the singles night mixer, $10 in Angel Bucks to use at the event. I have no idea what the hell that means. Like, what does one Angel Buck get me?
It's a way to spend money at their gift shop.
Can I slip it into the G-string of the girl I'm hitting on?
There you go.
You get live entertainment, raffles, and drink specials. So, Angel Stadium tomorrow night. Don't take your kids. The kiss cam is probably going to be very inappropriate. You're going to have drunk, lonely people who are going to be sad.
Drunk fans at a sporting event?
No, not just drunk. Drunk and lonely.
Drunk and lonely fans.
Like, play the Hank Williams now because someone's crying.
That's just a marketing nightmare.
Yeah.
Mommy, Daddy.
We'll see if they do that one again next year.
Yeah, right.
Mommy, Daddy, how did you be?
I'm actually interested in going just to see that. It's a spectacle of people watching. That'd be pretty fun, I think.
Stand.
You
at
never
the,
know. You can find love.
Oh, yeah.
Stand at the rail and watch the crowd instead of the game.
Like, imagine if the Dodgers did that. Like, I love Dodgers fans. I'm a Dodger fan, but you don't look like no Andre Ether to me.
There'd be a lot of love making, a lot of matches in that thing. Dodger Stadium. Whew. A lot of.
I was at Dodger Stadium on Saturday night, and there was a girl like just hunting for a boyfriend. She had the tightest jeans I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure they may have been painted on. Bright blue, Dodger color blue high heels, a Clayton Kershaw jersey which she had tied off in the front, and I think she tried to smuggle in two friends in the front of that jersey. But the girl I was with was like, you can look if you want. I was like, yeah, I can look if I want. Of course I'm looking. And yeah, she was on the prowl. So we don't need a singles night. Dodger fangirls will tell you if they think you're cute. You cute and stuff.
So it sounds like Dodger fans are going to be happy about one thing. You got the lift of this blackout coming.
Partial lift.
Yeah, it sounds like Time Warner Cable has been bought out by Charter. So
Chartering us
Dodger fans
into
can
out of the
finally
blackout.
see their team, or a portion of Dodger fans.
Yeah, because
can
none of
finally
us
see their
were
team.
illegally streaming it.
Yeah.
So they
Never.
not going to be quite at night at the bar, quite as much Dodger fans.
Right.
That's a shame.
It's gonna be weird when the screen's not freezing on them. But speaking of Dodgers and Giants, both hot. I think the Dodgers just lost, which kills me. Which puts
If that's true, that'll put the Giants one game back. They've kind of caught fire. 24-10 since they started out 4-10. So it's about what we thought, though. Dodgers and Giants. Maybe the Padres will get in the mix, and we'll have a 3-team race at the end of the year.
The Padres are the Clippers of baseball.
Yeah,
they're the Padres.
This is true. Another interesting thing in baseball that happened this week was A-Rod. He passed two legends in the last 2 weeks, or he tied Willie Mays on the home run list at 660, and he passed Lou Gehrig on the all-time career RBI list.
You know what everybody thinks of A-Rod.
Yeah,
A-Fraud.
absolutely. Yep.
No one likes his purple-lipped face.
It makes for those awkward. it makes for those awkward moments on SportsCenter when they bring these things up. That's for sure.
Go make out with Madonna.
You're
Somewhere.
like,
Get out of
hey,
here.
that's awesome. Okay.
Right.
It's kind of
the guy
it's kind of like when Barry Bonds was breaking home run records, right, Brian?
Yeah, it was.
All right. Speaking of guys that beat each other up, MMA. We had some great fights this weekend. I am not disappointed. I actually got to watch some.
No, I was very pumped up to watch it. Let's see. We had, we'll go start from the lower fights. We had Cowboy Cerrone was supposed to fight Khabib, but that got scratched. Ended up fighting Makdessi. Just walked right through this guy. The guy looked like he didn't belong in the ring. Afterwards, they found out that Cerrone fought with a couple broken ribs.
Oops.
Guy's pretty tough.
What's up with fighters both in all fighting sports that are probably right now, like hiding their injuries?
Because they don't make enough money right now to sit back like some of the spoiled rich NBA players and football players. They're making, very minimal money, having to pay its trainings, their cornermen and all that.
Yeah.
They don't make that much money except for the very, very elite fighters.
And those guys are selling T-shirts like galore.
And they stole all their sponsorship, deals. The UFC did. You can't wear any of that stuff into the ring anymore. You got to wear Reebok. So yeah, I mean, UFC is what they are. They're the number one division. You have to fight there. If you're big time.
I can't wait till you see like a guy walk into the octagon and you hear.
Well, they had a guy
who
who
pumps up his Reebok pumps.
They had a guy get spray tan on his chest the other day, a logo, and I got mad
I
about
forgot who
that.
that was, but he's one of my favorite fighters, and I cannot remember his name right
Yeah,
now.
that was funny. I thought it was a nice way to try to get around
that guy
the ban.
could get knocked in the face, and he has like that big cheesy smile on.
All right, Travis Brown and Arlovsky, which I think will be a contender for Fight of the Year.
Great fight.
Heavyweight fighter, both guys getting tagged.
I should have never changed my prediction about Arlovsky last week.
I mean, Travis Brown, I'm a fan, but he's been having some issues lately. He's struggling a little bit. That was a big loss for him. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure something out. Arlovsky looks like somehow he found a chin.
He got a chin. He got tagged to the chin. I was like, oh, there it is. And he bounced right back up.
Yeah,
finished the fight.
First time in a while I've seen him get rocked and actually come back from it.
It seemed like a way more mature Arlovsky.
Yeah, I mean, after as many, people were talking a lot about him. He needed to retire. He had concussions. He was getting knocked out all the time, and he stuck with it. And I mean, his neck looks a little thicker to me. I think maybe he did a little thick training for that. But good for him to make a comeback. It's always nice to see someone come back strong,
and especially someone that the fans like,
who's been there since back in the day when they were really getting no money whatsoever.
Do you think he starts getting closer to that title fight again?
I still think he's about 4 fights away, probably. But if he can beat a couple of the big time guys, he'll get back in the picture. Okay, who else we had? We had the co-main event. We had Weidman versus Vitor Belfort off of the TRT, supposedly, even though his testosterone levels were higher than Weidman's somehow, even though he wasn't on the TRT. So
Weidman.
It was a little fishy.
I love Weidman, the All-American guy. Some funny note. Weidman usually runs in carrying his own flag. Did not carry his flag in because he had to poop. He said, I almost shit my pants in that fight. I had to go so bad. I'm glad it ended when it did.
That would be a little embarrassing.
This is the guy who shit his pants sparring. So
I didn't hear that one. I don't.
Weidman, slow the diet down.
Wow,
Weidman.
that's fun to know. Good fact to know there.
Hey, toppers, if you want, I'll post the story where he talks about his bowel movements. It's cool.
All right, yeah. So Weidman came out. He got tagged. Vitor looked. His hands were fast. He looked good. But I think, any of those guys who have a lot of the TRT issues and stuff tend to fade bad. And it happened to Vitor, and Weidman looked good. Once he got him to the ground, he just smashed him. He took care of business. So Weidman's still undefeated and not looking like anybody's coming to get him. He's looking very impressive, like he's getting better every fight still.
He says his ultimate goal is to retire undefeated. That's a big goal.
He's got everything. His hands are solid. He's got unbelievable wrestling, and his jiu-jitsu game is pretty tight. So he's got most of the stuff you need.
I mean, the guy was in the military. I mean, what really scares? Like, I have to fight one guy who doesn't have any weapons. How scared can? I mean, there was a point in that fight where a lot of fighters would have been stunned, and a lot of fighters would have been scared. And I don't think you can scare the guy, and I think that's huge in his fights.
Well, let's see. Our main event of the night, the light heavyweight title, was up for grabs. And I predicted Rumble would get the KO. And almost did about a minute or two into the fight. Landed a monster punch that put DC flying back.
And he was one missed punch away from coming true with that.
I think so, definitely. But it hurt me to see how bad he faded, how out of shape. By the second round, he couldn't breathe. Even the corner was looking at him like, "Hey, guy, what's going on? You did we not condition for this fight?" Because they knew that it's Daniel Cormier. He's not going to go anywhere easily. Yeah. He's a grinder. He's the definition of a grinder.
But Rumble did show how strong he was when it came to like the takedowns, but.
Yeah, and then eventually Daniel Ward grinded him down, started picking him up and slamming him, and then
he started getting punched in the face.
He quit. He honestly he was tired mentally. Cormier broke him, I think, early in the second round.
What I do think is Rumble may have not won the fight, but he won the crowd.
Nah, yeah, he won a crowd by putting the belt on DC. He's matured. That's definite. He definitely matured because he used to be an idiot, and I think being kicked out of the UFC and all that really did make him reassess his life.
Well, with Rumble going,
but then again, you got to train. If you got shot for the title, how do you not come in better shape than that? So mature in some aspects, but still,
you were gonna fight anyway.
And I understand that when you swing as hard as he does, you get really, really tired, but you got to be able to recover on those.
Yeah,
he was just dying and gasping for air in the ring by second round.
That could be a trainer issue.
It was a title fight. It's a 5-round fight. It's not a 3-round fight, and so it showed that he hasn't been in a title fight before, many title fights before. So the Rumble was a disappointment in my book, big time. DC, congratulations. I don't like the fact that he came out and called John Jones out. I mean, granted, I guess you have to because that's who beat you. But, he told his exact quote was, "John Jones, get your shit together. I'll be waiting for you."
He knows he's going to have to fight him.
Yeah.
Dana's already said John Jones is getting that fight when he comes out.
I can't wait to see it. I mean, John Jones showed he was a better fighter when they fought, straight up.
Absolutely.
He handled him. So, we'll see what DC can do with the title now. Who's the next? Gustafsson or whoever it is he's going to fight. I'd like to see it.
Maybe we'll give John Jones your Uber number.
Yeah. John Jones, get a driver, bro. All right. What else we got here?
Do we want to talk NFL or do we want to talk college baseball?
Let's talk college baseball. We got a lot of local flavor in the tournament coming up. 64-team tournament with 7 Southern California teams.
We have USC, UCLA,
number 1 seed,
San Diego State.
Yep.
Cal State. I'm gonna hold off on that one. So
Pepperdine, Santa Barbara,
and my Cal State Fullerton Titans.
Yep.
I'm an alumni, and I'm always rooting for you guys. And we almost beat UCLA this year. We lost in 10.
Right.
So and we beat USC. So we could have made a
first time for SC
statement
in the tournament in 10 years. So it'll be nice to see them back in the tournament. UCLA with the number 1 overall seed, which is kind of controversial because LSU is actually the #1 team in the country right now.
Absolutely. And I'm really shocked that UCLA gets that.
It makes zero sense to me. Why have a ranking system and put someone #1 and then put someone else with the #1 when you get to the tournament?
Right.
Makes some sense. Come on.
Yep.
BCS. BCS.
So that'll be fun to follow. Going back to fights, there's a boxing match that looks pretty good coming up. Adrian Bronner and Sean Porter on June 20th. That should be a pretty good fight.
You know my view on anybody named Adrian.
No, there you go. There you do. You have your choice.
I've seen Bronner. I know he's pretty solid. I don't think I've seen the other guy yet. So
Yeah, he's the other guy's 56-1, former champion. So it should be a pretty good fight. And what is it? MSNBC or CNBC, whatever, or NBC Sports. They're starting their fight night. Their Saturday night fight nights up. So
yeah, well, boxing needs something, and I'm not hopeful that it's going to get a big revival. Honestly, even though I grew up on it, loving it.
love it.
No one wants to be the heavyweight boxing champion of the world like they used to want to be. It was like
count me
you're
in
no
as
longer the baddest man in the world because you're the heavyweight boxing champion.
Right. Count me as the hopeful, but pessimistic about
Doubtful.
whether it'll take its place back in the fight game because you guys
Maybe if Santa did what he did to me when I was a kid and bring me gloves.
Well,
we bring gloves to more kids.
I mean, now with all the concussion issues, I mean,
Yeah.
who's going to tell their kid to go be a fighter?
Right.
Be a boxer.
yeah, good point.
We have people talking about putting rugby helmets on AYSO
Most kids
kids.
don't want to play Pop Warner. I mean, well, the kids, may want to play, but most parents now are really shying away from, unless you're just diehards. But it's flag football now is taking over, two-hand touch, because you want the kids to not get concussions early in life and not even get a chance to play when they're in high school.
I think if I ever had a child that wanted to play football, I would put him in flag football first. I want him to learn the game and learn the plays, and then high school, get ready to get rocked.
Get the speed of the game down, run around, and don't get hurt. That's
Right.
a good thing.
Speaking of non-contact, I was watching ESPN tonight, and I was shocked to find the men's and women's national championship game in team frisbee on. Oregon was dominating.
You say that like it's a bad thing. I love ultimate frisbee.
Is this
I
scholarship sport?
Did
Because
not realize there was an
I
NCAA
think it's
level.
intramural.
Did not realize that.
I don't
was
think it's
an NCAA level.
NC2A, but it's
hey, we bring you the off the top sports here, right?
and that's off the top. And I'm pretty sure it smells kind of funny, like the smoke, bro.
Probably.
But no, I love ultimate frisbee.
Frisbee golf's fun.
I think we should set up an ultimate frisbee tournament. Who wants to be on the
We're
office?
down, definitely.
Frisbee golf should be an Olympic sport.
Oh, I
Let's
love
go
frisbee
with that.
golf. Yeah, but you can't smoke weed in the Olympics, and you can't play. You can't play
can if you're a
frisbee golf without
snowboarder.
smoking weed.
You can if you're a snowboarder. And speaking of, well, not speaking of, but we had some corruption brought to light today in
Oh,
FIFA.
wow. Well, I mean, that's
FIFA.
mark that down as another reason why I say I didn't like soccer, because I know it's all corrupt.
Right.
When those guys all fall down like they got shot and they just barely got nicked.
And then he's up and running full
then he's-
speed
yeah.
3 seconds later.
If Qatar gets the games and Russia gets the games, something's up.
Yeah.
I mean, Qatar's gonna have India has melting roads right now. Qatar's gonna be about that hot.
Well, I mean, a lot of people think that one of the most corrupt organizations on the face of the earth is the Olympic Committee, and FIFA sounds like it's right there behind that. I mean, you got these multi-millionaire guys that are chairmans of these things, and they're getting countries to give them all kinds of stuff in order to host their sports. And it's just,
It was a very
It is kind of
intricate-
funny though
Yeah.
that United States was like, "Hey, we didn't get the games. Hey, you're arrested, all 6 of you."
now we'll take the games.
Now,
Right. So,
I mean,
That's how we do it.
I don't think we've ever
USA.
hosted the men's tournament, have we?
we did. We host. It was like 90.
I'm pretty sure
92.
everyone from back then is dead. We had the women's.
It was what was the redheaded guy's name? Lawless.
Oh, Lawless.
He was on the team. It was I think it was
Alexei.
92.
Alexei
Yeah, I
Lawless.
think it was 92. But yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I didn't see. Oh, that's right. And the final game ended in a shootout with Italy versus. I remember. But
Before we go tonight, if you're a Golden State fan and you can't tell me who Run TMC is, you're not really a Golden State
You're
fan.
not
Matthew Francisco,
you're
thank you
not
for
old
that
school.
one. That's a good one.
You're not allowed to watch the finals.
You can only cheer Curry and Thompson on the current roster. You're not an OG fan.
So
But what if like the Lakers make it to the finals? God, it's never gonna happen. But the Lakers make it to the final again one day. Do we turn away our fans because they don't know who Kareem is?
Yes.
Okay,
Study the
valid.
history of your team. All right.
do your homework.
Yeah.
What if they don't know who Dennis Rodman
Google
is?
it. Google it.
How about we end tonight with a question about the NFL since OTAs were starting and stuff like that. So we were kicking around the question before: who's going to take more snaps this year, Johnny Football or Timmy Tebow? You got Johnny Football in Cleveland. You got Tebow in Philly in the Chip Kelly system.
Or Peyton Manning's backup.
Right.
Like Johnny Manziel and Tebow, I swear to God, they're like the angel and devil on the shoulders of NFL. You have one kid who just parties all the time until he falls on his knees, and then you have one guy who chooses to go on his knees. And I don't mean that like in a fun way, wink, but someone needs to make that shirt happen. I don't want it because I wouldn't wear either of those guys. But
So what's your take, Josh? What do you think of Johnny Football first of all as a quarterback?
It depends on the way the coaches let him play. I mean, the sample, the size of the sample we've seen so far, he can't play in the league.
Right.
I mean, it's not even close. He's not doing what he did in college. He's throwing picks. He's looking like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But also, it's hard if you're doing blow and you're drinking and you're partying and having parties the nights before a game, and you're not studying the playbook. So hopefully he went to rehab and he can actually look at the playbook this time and maybe he'll have actual chance.
The citizens of Cleveland.
Do you think he's too small for the style of play
Doug
that he
Flutie played
wants
in the
to
NFL.
play? He did.
I mean, is Russell Wilson too small?
Yeah, but Flutie didn't party.
No, you're right.
Flutie didn't party like Manziel.
Russell Wilson, what is he? Does he have an inch on him?
He might be the exact same size.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
how can he not be good enough?
Wilson smarter.
Definitely. I mean, that's one of the most, obvious signs of what intelligence plays in the NFL, the difference in, because he's not more athletic, I don't think, than Johnny, because Johnny is an athletic
I
dude.
say Johnny gets more snaps just because he's newer in the league and they think
Well,
they
Tim
can.
Tebow was going to get cut. I don't think he'll make the team.
Unless he's used as that 2-point conversion weapon, but no
I
NFL
still
coach
think once
worth
they get in
anything
there
is
and
going
he's,
to.
I want to play quarterback. And you're like, shut up, Tim. You're going to play these other things, all right? Or get the hell out
And
of here.
back to the Russell Wilson thing, he does get to turn around and hand the ball to beast mode, except for on the most important play of the season.
Why bringing up old shit?
Ethiopians just got their Seattle Seahawks championship
They
shirts.
did. They did. They did.
2014 Seattle champs with beast mode on them diving in for the touchdown on it.
There's two ways Eagle fans are going to know if their team's going to try to sneak in a 2-point conversion. If they're on the 2 or if Tebow's in.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Tebow's in, they're going for the 2.
I'm very interested to see how this new thing works. I think a lot of teams are going to start going for 2 every time and just say screw it.
There's 7 rule changes. 7 rule changes in the NFL. I don't even know off the top of my head.
That's going to bring every number in the football pool at the Super Bowl into play. If you have a bunch of 2-point conversions going, you're going to have 25.
That is a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right, that
Yeah.
makes me happy for next year's.
Because when you get your
Super Bowl
pool
fun.
numbers and you get like 5 and 3, you're like, all right, I got to wait till the third quarter before I can even get close to my numbers.
Yep, that's a good way to look at it. I like it.
Could you imagine a game going overtime and it's 5-5? Just, I want to know what the most ridiculous score has ever happened in the NFL.
It'll probably be this year coming up.
Yep.
It's gonna be funny. It'll be like 8-6.
Did we do our girl of the week?
Oh, before we go, off the top sports girl of the week.
Aren't you glad you waited and listened this long to see the off-top sports talk of the
If you are there,
babe of the week? Who is it now? We got to give love.
Steph Curry's mom,
Stephen.
Sonia Curry.
Somewhere LeBron and Delonte West are not high-fiving over this.
when Brian brought it up, I was like, what? No, and he showed me on his iPad. I was like, yeah.
She's the rage
Hot
in some of
sauce
the
in my
the
bag.
basketball groups I'm on, chatting and stuff like that. She's the rage.
Hey, Stephen Curry, if I become your stepdad, will you still sign an autograph for me?
I think Dell would have something to say about that though first.
She looked good, man. I now see what the big hype was about. Go Steph Curry's mom.
See that's the weird thing about guys during the NBA, younger and younger. Your older teammates are going to be dating your mom. I mean,
Maybe even your younger teammates.
right? I mean, Jesus Christ! If I was 21,
Crazy
and
world
she walked,
now. Especially when you got money.
oh man, and maybe that's all you need sometimes as being a man.
Well, next week when we have our show, we will just be fine. Wait, first game is going to be basketball.
June 4th.
It's a little
So-
less than a week from today, is what I heard tonight. So
Yeah.
we got. We'll be talking about that first game at least. So LeBron, Steph Curry, Splash Brothers. Who's going to do it? Can't wait. Game 7. Is it going to be the Rangers and the Ducks? Tune in next week to find out on Off the
Yep.
Top Sports.
Hey, we end on a cliffhanger. That's nice. I like it. For Off the Top Sports, my name is Adrian Gonzalez.
I am Josh House.
And I'm Brian Belcito.
Out.
Out.